Yes, we will see. Yes, we will see. K means clustering, right? So this is the two very important things. Other one is uh, K means clustering, right? And K medoid clustering, right? So don't worry about these sums if you're not comfortable. Just leave it off. But it is very important for you to understand uh, this to study the questions, right? So this is so don't panic yourself. Fine. So what do you mean by clay means clustering? See, we are into the first technique called as partitioning technique of what clustering. So in this case, k is equal to 3, right? Which means I have a set of points, right? Set of points. I'm going to just partition it into 3, 1, 2, and 3 clusters. So k is equal to, so 3 clusters I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do here is that there are 10 points seen there. I'll put a plus here. So which is I'll choose 3 uh, um, points. It's randomly I'm just picking it. So this is C1, right? C2, and C3. From where I am picking these points, it is from here. So I have just taken C1 here, right? This is point number 7, and I have taken point number 9 as C2 and point number 8 as C3. So these are all plus symbols. So I said 3. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to find out the equilibrium distance. What do you mean by equilibrium distance is that, so given a point, 2 points will be there. So x1 comma x2, right? And sorry, x1 comma y1 comma x2 comma, wait, in a graph, right? In a graph if like that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to subtract these two values and find the square, and subtract these two values and find the square. So I'll write all the 10 points here, all the 10 points here. So I'll just put the table here. So what I have mentioned here is that all the points, sorry, all the 9 points will be here, and I have selected 3 plus here. Okay, I just selected 3 points here: C1, C2, and C3. So what I'll write here. What do you mean by C1 3 comma 3, right? C1 I'll write here. C2 3 comma 7, and C3 9 comma 4. So this is how I'll write. So 3 center points I have just taken in the cluster, and these are my 10 points. So what I have to do here is that I have to find out the equilibrium distance between these 2 points. Fine. The equilibrium distance with what? These 2 points. So I have to put the equilibrium distance of 3 comma 3 and what? 1 comma 3. So I'll just check what is the answer here. I'll put equilibrium distance of 3 comma 3 and 1 comma 3. So I'll just put x2 minus x1 the whole square. This is my x2, right? This is my x1. X2 minus x1 the whole square, plus then y2 minus y1 the whole square. The answer is 2. So what I'll do is that I'll put this uh, first value here. This is 2. This is 2. This is in our book, right? So fine. Then what I will do here is that I'll find out the equilibrium distance of 1 comma 3 with this centroid, right? 3 comma 7, right? So 1 comma 3 and 3 comma 7. So 1 comma 3 and 3 comma 7, put the square root, and I'll get 4.5. So that's what I have put here, 4.15. Then I'll find out the Euclidean distance of the third randomly picked centroid here. Fine. C3, right? So this is my x1 y1. Sorry, this is my x1 y1 and this is my x2 y2. So I'll just go back and I'll show you here. Right. So this is the values here. So as usual, we have to find out. So choosing any value will not make a difference because you're just squaring it off. So don't worry about it. So 8.1 will come. Yeah. So the first section is done. And look at the second point, 2 comma 2. Again, you have to find out the Euclidean distance of the second point with the centroid using what the Euclidean distance, the second point with the centroid. So it is 3 comma 3 with 2 comma what 2. So the answer is 1.4. So uh, I'll just put 1.4 here. Likewise, Euclidean distance of 2 comma 2 with 3 comma 7, it is 5.1 and 7.3. Likewise, it proceeds with the Euclidean distance, right? So just remember the formula of the Euclidean distance, right? It is the square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square, y2 minus y1 the square. So you will just compare this first 3 points that you have randomly chosen and find the Euclidean distance and come to the fourth column, right? So fourth column here, 1, 2, 3, fourth column here, we have to select which cluster. So this is cluster C1, right? This is cluster C2 and this is cluster what C3. So what we will try to do here is that which has got the least similarity. So we studied this is the least value. So C1, this data point belongs to the cluster what? C1. Look at here 1.4. This also is what C1. Fine. Look at here, the smallest is 2.2. So this belongs to C2. Here the smallest is 5.1. So this belongs to what? You just pick the small values because when you have the small values, that is what it matters, right? So small values. So in this row C2, cluster C2, this belongs to the second one, so cluster C2. Likewise, you have found out. So you have to write all the data points of cluster 1, these are the data points, and cluster 2, these are the data points, and cluster 3, these are the what data points. So this is given in our book. So this is how it will be, right? So cluster C1, C2, C3. C1, C2, and C3. Now we have to find out a new center for this table. This center will change. The center will what? Change now. So how to calculate this center is here is the step. Let's listen very carefully here. Where all C1 is here? So again, C1 is there in this 1, 2, and 3 places. So this belongs to C1. This belongs to C1, and this belongs to C1. So yeah. Now what we are supposed to do is you need to add this value 1 plus. So 1 plus 2 plus 3. So that's what we have done here. 1 plus 2 plus 3 by 3. Then add the second data point here. 3 plus 2 plus 3. 3 plus 2 plus 3. So this is the new centroid for cluster 1. Likewise, what are all the clusters C2 here? So this is my cluster for C2, and this is for C2, and this is for what? C2. So I have to just look into the C2. So 5 plus 3 plus 3. So that's what here it is at 5 plus 3 plus 3. Likewise, the second value. So what we have found out is that there is a shift. There is a new set of centers I have just got. Right? So these are all the new values. These are all the new values. So I need to take this values. So now the new C1 is 2 comma 2.7. The new C2 is 3 comma 7.8. I'm just moving the center. C3 is 9 comma 5.3. 9 comma 5.3. So calculating the distance between the data points, again for this I have to put a new table like this. Yeah, I have to put a new table like this for the new center. Again I have to write all those 9 points. Again I have to find out the Euclidean distance between this two, right? Between this two and between what? This two. I have to fill the table, and which is the least value. I have to just what? Make down this what? Clusters. Least value will be my what? Cluster. Fine. So least value will be my what? Cluster. Fine. So this is how it works. So when do I actually stop this sum? Look at after completing this section, right? After completing this section, there is no change in the cluster set here, right? Cluster set here, as well as there is no change in the cluster set here. Just check your book, it will remain the what? Same. When it remains the same, then this is my new center. I just what? Stop everything from there. So this is how it actually works.